In those days, as I've always told you, when Scripture says in those days, it's referring to the end times. In those days, Michael will rise. So in Genesis, we see that Joseph says, and my sheaf rose up. In Daniel, we see, and Michael will rise. And in Revelation, we see that they tell Yahushua, as if he were a witness like Moses, rise up. Everything is connected. That's why, as I've told you, the witness like Moses is Michael incarnating on earth as a man, being represented by Yahushua, the beloved apostle of Yahushua. Remember something that maybe some people or most people don't understand regarding what the second coming is, and they might misinterpret the way we talk about it here, is that just as Yahushua came sent by Yahweh, who was in heaven and sent Yahushua, and in Hebrew culture, the one who is sent represents in every aspect the one who sent him. That's why Yahushua is the image of Yahweh. And there are a lot of religions where they worship Yahushua as if he were Yahweh, and others where one of the main doctrines is that Yahweh and Yahushua must be separated, because they don't understand, so to speak, the spiritual union that exists, nor the distinction between Father and Son. I don't know, it seems strange to me, since I think we have it very clear here. But my point is, there are people who don't make the distinction and don't understand that Yahweh was in heaven while Yahushua was on earth, and that's why he said, the Father is greater than I am, and other things like that. So, Yahweh said to Yahushua, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet. So, when Yahushua rose from the dead, he ascended and sat at the right hand of the Father. So, Yahushua says, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet. That means that at the end of times, Yahweh would descend again, Yahushua would remain at the right hand of the Father, he would descend again, incarnate once more now in another body, in another person, and through this person he will accomplish the final thing that remains to cast Lucifer out of heaven and throw him down to the earth, because as it is written, the earth is the footstool for his feet. So, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet, means that Yahweh told Yahushua, stay in heaven until I descend to make Lucifer fall to the earth, as we see in Revelation 12. So, Yahweh is going to descend again. That's why Yahweh says, I am the first and the last. I didn't say, it's not Yahushua who says it. Yahushua only says it at the end of Revelation, when the first and the last become one. But before the end of Revelation, it's only Yahweh who says, I am the first and the last. I am the first and I am with the last, because he will be on earth. So it's Yahweh coming down once, and then coming down again. Two different bodies. So for the world, for humans, they will seem like two different people. That's what I want to make clear. Christians are expecting it to be exactly the same person. And my question is, how are they going to recognize him if they've never seen him? And how are they going to recognize him if they've never studied him? So they're going to be deceived by an image they've been taught in Catholicism, in religion. In order for us to know the Spirit, we must know the Scripture. And then, just by hearing the person speak, you'll know, you'll recognize, because it will be the same Spirit coming out of that mouth. That's why Yahushua said, I am the door, the first, and the good shepherd, the last. And the good shepherd enters through the door, and his sheep hear his voice. His sheep know him by his voice. It doesn't say by how he looks. It's through what he says that the sheep will recognize the second manifestation of Yahweh.